From heavens above to the depths below, our world is never short of terrifying natural phenomena. Unexpected explosions and inexplicable sights. Nature always has something up its sleeve. So hang around to witness the unsettling side of our planet. On a frozen lake in Alaska, these scientists were studying methane gas trapped in ice. As the ice thaws, trees fall into the lake, decompose, and release methane. In summer, methane bubbles pop at the surface, but in winter, they get trapped under the ice. And when they're triggered with a flame, it explodes. Arctic lakes emit a lot of methane, and thawing permafrost could release much more in the future. Water explosion. Recorded in the capital of Iceland, this clip featured an underwater explosion. Well, there's not much to worry about. This is known as a geyser. These water bodies get extremely hot due to the underground lava, and the water jumps out to release some of the heat into the atmosphere. If you ever see one, maintain a safe distance, as this water is coming straight from the center of the Earth. Blast. Now, get ready for a blast. Literally. This angry blast you just saw took place in a quarry. To work on these rocky grounds, it's important to break these rocks apart. It could be for anything, building mines or roads. And the best way to break these rocks is through blasting. But don't go around looking for blasts, as they take place in a highly controlled environment to ensure the safety of the surrounding region. Glacier melt. A group of kayakers out in the freezing cold water got to witness a very bizarre sight. The glacier right in front of them suddenly started to collapse. As the first peak of ice went down, a massive wave splashed them. Scared out of their wits, they turned their kayaks around and quickly paddled away. Even though it's dangerous to be up close to a melting glacier, the sight sure was thrilling. Explosive beach well. This clip's been making the rounds on the internet. A group of friends visiting the beach discovered something truly strange. There seemed to be a well on the beach, with water waves crashing into it. Picking up tires lying nearby, they put them inside the well. And the well suddenly erupted with water and tires flying all over the place. What power caused the tires to fly this high into the sky? If you've got any guesses, let me know down in the comments. Sparkling water. Doesn't this look straight out of a fairy tale? And let me tell you, the water isn't glowing due to artificial lighting. This beach has countless bioluminescent plankton that glow in the dark and give this water a unique, shimmering look. But this beautiful scene comes at a cost. These plankton are toxic, making it impossible to swim in this water and only to be admired from a distance.
This is pure bioluminescent. I'd like to introduce you to Avatar. Oh, wait.
Underground fire. If you've ever wondered what hell looks like, this next clip will give you a little perspective. Fire burning underground with no signs of stopping anytime soon. This is a coal seam fire. It starts as a natural phenomenon and will stop once the resource is completely exhausted. And this one seemed to have a long time before it went out. Fire in water. Now, let's redefine some rules of nature. Water and fire were thought to be each other's arch nemesis since the beginning of time. But looks like recently they've made peace with each other. There have been countless instances where fire was seen burning up inside the water. Lakes, rivers, quarries, and even seas. All of them are hosting fire like it's nothing. Before you get any weird ideas like many locals did, there's a reason why this fire is burning up right in the water, and that is methane gas. These water bodies have a huge resource of methane gas that not only catches fire, but also keeps on burning. Burning crater. In the middle of the scorching desert of Turkmenistan, there's this jaw-dropping sight, the Gateway to Hell, also called the Darvaza Natural Gas Crater. The fiery pit is wide enough to swallow a small village and deep enough to make you dizzy. Emerged all the way back in 1970, it's been blazing for more than 50 years straight. But now, the authorities have decided to put a lid on those flames once and for all. The reason? Well, they want to save the planet and also keep the pollution in the region safe and sound. Burning rocks. While digging this pit underground, a soldier stumbled upon what looked like a natural gas fire at first, but it turned out to be much stranger. He found rocks that burn when they hit something. Closer examination revealed that these rocks are mostly made of methane, along with some hydrogen, nitrogen, and helium. When they collide with solid objects, they ignite and produce thick smoke and flames. Well, our world is never short on strange things. Raising ground. Locals in Haryana witnessed a bizarre sight when the ground suddenly emerged from under the water. Onlookers were shocked, thinking that the earth was moving due to some unknown being with sinister intentions. But there was an explanation for this. After being submerged underwater for a long time, the land was making an appearance as the water level went down again. Eye of fire. A drone camera recorded this terrifying footage of a massive inferno started in the Gulf of Mexico. The intense fire burned, looking like an eyeball in the middle of the ocean. Rescue ships were sent there to help put the fire out. Now I can hear you already asking, what started this fire in the ocean? Well, a leak in a gas pipeline was to blame. The scene looks scary, kind of like a door to hell has been opened up. Pollen explosion.
Amazing.
This tree just exploded like a smoke bomb. It might look impressive, but just watching it is making my eyes itch. These guys on a truck were taking down this tree because the pollen would cause allergies for thousands, if not millions of people. It's all to keep the neighborhood free from pollen action.
Amazing.
Jumping carp. These fishermen were out in the water and came across this frantic sight. The fish seemed very eager to be caught as they were jumping out all over the river. And there was no need to go about the traditional way of casting a line with them, as they just jumped right into the boat. What easier catch could a fisherman ask for? It was a war out there. I mean, the guys had to get out of the way just to not get hit by flying fish. Now you might be asking, what kind of fish is this? Well, these are Asian carps, and when they get stressed or threatened, they begin jumping out of the water. Desert oil. Arab countries are pretty famous for their oil reserves. If you've ever wondered how oil turns up in the deserts, here's how it goes. After being under pressure for a long time, the oil just sprouts from underground, and it makes these tiny fountains in the middle of the sand. And sometimes, the oil makes a stream and turns into a massive puddle in the desert. This is actually crude oil. It needs quite a lot of processing before it can be used. Strange rocks. I think we all know that rocks are solid, but I guess these rocks have escaped the Matrix. As this guy touched them, instead of being solid, they were all jiggly. How's that even possible? Was it because of the mud they were stuck in? If these jiggly rocks were not enough, then how about these breathing ones? You heard me right. Just listen to these rock breaths. Now, don't be scared. These rocks aren't alive. The water waves makes it sound like these rocks are breathing. Sleeping whales. Taking a dive into the deep sea and seeing this, you'll think you've been transported into another world. These eerily still behemoths are actually a pod of sperm whales. And if you're wondering why they're floating underwater like this, well, that's because they're sleeping. Yes, whales of course also sleep. I can't explain the sight. I mean, it's beautiful, serene, and kinda terrifying all at once. Supermoon. Now, let's have a look at the incredible time-lapse of the supermoon over Mission Peak, California. This was a special event where all these people went all the way up to the peak to capture the gigantic moon in the background. This is the moment when the moon comes super close to the Earth. Massive sinkhole. A very strange clip was recorded in Illinois when a soccer field was swallowed by a massive sinkhole. Suddenly, the ground opened up, took in the entire light pole inside, leaving behind a 100-foot wide sinkhole. Officials said it was the result of an underground mine. Although the scene was dramatic, everyone was thankful no one was on the field at the time. Cliff collapse. If you're the kind of adventurer who stands on cliffs, well then you've gotta see this footage. A group of hikers recorded this clip of a cliff collapsing somewhere in Cornwall. The sight was pretty dangerous, and it probably wasn't the best idea for these guys to stand so close. But looks like the force of nature decided to spare them. Here's another huge rock slide that was captured at Lake Powell, causing a big splash. Witnesses first noticed some rock and sand falling before the whole rock face gave way. Luckily, no one was hurt, leaving people fascinated by the footage.
And, you can see the big splash on the video, but the wave afterwards, I feel like the video didn't do that big tidal wave justice. It was huge.
Reverse waterfall. There are a few places on Earth that appear to defy nature's rules, and this waterfall in Ivins, Utah is one of them. Unlike a typical waterfall where water flows down, this one seems to flow in reverse, with water moving up the steep cliff. Drone footage showed every drop of water either suspended midair or rising upwards. You might wonder what's causing this unusual phenomenon. In fact, it's the strong winds. The winds are powerful enough to work against gravity, pushing the water upwards. Another waterfall with a similar reverse flow is present in Nanagat, India. All the falls there move against gravity, making for a fascinating example of nature defying its own rules. Stuck birds.
That's a dead bird, and it's just floating in the air.
A guy was taking a walk down the roads of Surrey when he spotted this in the sky. Apparently, a bird seemed to be stuck up there, completely motionless. It just hovered there like it was controlled by some unseen entity. I'm just curious how it was defying gravity. Here's another similar one. A group of hikers were taking a break when they noticed this hawk just stuck there, not moving an inch. The wind seemed to tremble it, but the bird just stood there, defying our understanding of reality. Was it a glitch or something out of our imaginations? Do let me know what you think. Glitching Beehive. Can you tell what's going on here? Looks like this beehive is going through a glitch, making these perfect spirals. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. But before you think the clip's not real like many netizens did, let me tell you, this scene is very much real. These are actually shimmering waves that these bees put on as a defense mechanism to ward off predators like wasps. 2 moons. Seeing the next one, you'll definitely be left questioning your beliefs. Looks like our moon is being mirrored on the sky. As far as we know, our planet only has 1 moon. So where did that second one come from? Although netizens seem to believe it was just the moon from the parallel universe, was this really some glitch in our reality? Or was the clip just a hoax? Let me know what you think down below. Singing desert. After breathing rocks, now we have singing sand. Face forward, these guys were crawling down the sand, and it seemed to have made a strange sound in the desert. Well, it's said when 2 layers of the sand collide with each other, they make a singing sound like this. Crab cross. This clip of millions of red crawly crabs was captured on Christmas Island as these crustaceans were making their way up the bridge. Each year, these animals migrate en masse to the ocean, turning roads red. Australian authorities facilitate their journey with special crab bridges and road closures, ensuring a safe journey, which typically occurs from October to January. Electric swings. Now, this next clip might make you fearful of playing swings. A homeowner recorded this clip of a swing set caught by electricity and fire. Sparks flew, and the swings seemed to burn. No one knew what exactly caused the fiery swings, but I'm sure no one would want to be on these swings after seeing this. Alert shrimp. Now, let's have a look at these shrimps getting all alert with the tap of a wooden chopstick. Is this some kind of a defense mechanism to ward off predators? The answer has remained elusive, as no one could explain this strange behavior. However, it looks fun to make these shrimps move at your tap. Massive ice ball. This giant ball of ice was found at a Chinese farm and left the farmer a little out of sorts, as the farm had a greenhouse setting and the net above the ice ball was ripped, meaning it probably fell from the sky. I had no idea these massive bombs could fall from the sky, and it just makes me a bit more scared of the sheer force of nature. Ice strings. Discovered all the way back in the 1800s, it's just now that scientists are getting to know more about these ice strings. Being the largest organisms on Earth that spend their entire life cycle in ice, they're becoming quite famous. Surprisingly, even after being built for icy habitats, these creatures cannot survive if the temperature drops below 0 degrees Celsius. Researchers believe that studying ice worms could help find potential life on other planets, as they thrive in extremely cold conditions. Icy touch. What you're witnessing was called the Finger of Death, recorded in the Antarctic back in 2011. Starting from the top, anything this icy finger touched instantly froze. See how these starfish were instantly gone? Now, why do you think this happens? Well, the explanation behind this is a chemical reaction between salt and ice. Disappearing water. Back in December 2021, a hiker was out in the Shannon Falls of British Columbia when he noticed something strange. A stream of flowing water disappeared right in front of him. In Canada, during the cold weather, water can freeze almost instantly, creating this strange phenomenon called frazzle ice. The guy managed to record as a blue stream turned into ice. Frazzle ice forms when water cools quickly and tiny ice crystals mix in, rapidly covering the surface with ice. Seeing this happen in nature is pretty rare, and the guy was pretty lucky to have witnessed it. Blue hellfire. Setting fire to a landfill in Wyoming unexpectedly became a worldwide sensation when this clip went viral. The land burned with a hellish blue fire, unlike anything the workers had seen before. After investigating, the blue fire turned out to be caused by decades-old sulfur deposits mixed with the soil. The local fire department used water and firefighting foam to extinguish the burning flames, as they emitted an extremely toxic gas. These blue fires also occur naturally at Oozing crater in Indonesia. This blue fire is caused by the presence of sulfuric gas in the nearby area. Even though the sight looks incredible, it's all the more dangerous. Walk over the ice. Looks like this guy was walking in thin air. Although it's actually ice frozen over the surface of the lake, it's so thin and clear that it was almost invisible. Ugh, I'm getting anxious just watching this and hoping the ice doesn't break apart under his feet. Bubbling rock. A guy found this bizarre rock while visiting the Oozing Mountains. At first, it looked like a normal rock, but as he put it in the water, it started bubbling like a bath salt bomb. But the truth behind this was something far more dangerous. It was a sulfur rock, and the water was very acidic, and as they reacted, it started bubbling. Dragon peacock. To all the dragon enthusiasts out there, it looks like they found the closest relative to a dragon. And turns out, it's this peahen. This bird woke up and just decided to breathe fire like it was nothing. Now, the internet thinks this bird has the soul of a long-gone dragon. Is this real, or just another hoax meant to scare people? Do let me know what you think. Fire whirl.
Oh my god.
Earlier this year, a guy recorded this unusual phenomenon in North Dakota when a small fire whirl unexpectedly formed as he used gasoline to remove ice from his driveway after severe ice had formed. It looked like the flame of fire was dancing on the road. I'd suggest you don't try this one at home, as this could quickly escalate into a full-blown fire.
Oh my god.
Ball lightning. There's a famous phenomenon that has people confused, as they've got no clue what it really is. Over the years, this bizarre lightning ball has been seen at different places and different times. While most netizens think this is some extraterrestrial object keeping tabs on our planet, there are other people who think this ball of lightning might be an undiscovered natural phenomenon. With all the confusion surrounding it, no one's been able to properly identify it. Rolling balls. At first glance, it might look like these are rolls of haystack, but these are actually tumbleweeds, the body of a number of species of plants that, once mature and dry, detaches from its root or stem and rolls to the force of the wind. I'm just not sure if it's normal for this many tumbleweeds to be present in one place. Walking plants. Are these plants walking on their own? Parts of leaves and even a flower. It looked like someone had brought them to life. But if you look closely, you'll see that something is carrying these pieces of leaves and flowers. It's the leafcutter ants. They cut out these small portions and carry them on their backs, and it looks like these parts have grown a pair of legs. Oozing mud. A man recorded this clip that looked like the ground was torn down the middle and was breathing. With water all around it, the ground oozed the mud. This phenomenon was probably caused due to a lack of trees. When there's no trees on the ground, the land becomes weak and can separate like this. Fiery buds. A tree with pristine white buds. But wait, there were more than just buds here. Just when that guy put a matchstick close to it, that match lit up. Wait, what? Is this tree emitting flames? Even on the internet, no one could tell what that tree was. The man put the white bud inside a glass full of water, and the matchstick again lit up. If you've got any guesses about what kind of tree this is, do let me know down below. Prometheus creature. A man discovered his garden filled with strange, odd-looking objects. When he poked them with a stick, they moved. People on the internet speculated that these might be mutated worms, possibly affected by radiation from a nearby nuclear plant. Someone even suggested that they resembled creatures from the movie Prometheus. Whether these were extraterrestrial beings taking over or just an elaborate hoax, the mystery remained unsolved. Cloud on ground. There are moments when nature seems to go into a glitch. A guy posted this clip online where a cloud seemed to be roaming the streets of Spain. I don't think I've ever seen a cloud on the ground, and even though it looked very real, many people still believed that the cloud was just a prank. Bleeding glacier.
I think of the glacier having its period. Okay.
For the longest time, people have been superstitious about this glacier in Antarctica, thinking this bleeding ice is hiding sinister secrets. But these bloodfalls in Antarctica appear to bleed due to iron oxides in its water, giving it this striking red color.
The next thing to do would be to collect some samples and take this back to the lab and see if there's any microbes in here.
The water flows despite the cold because it's extremely salty. It doesn't come from glacier melt, but from an underground source that's been isolated for millions of years. This unique phenomenon is probably one of the few places with visible liquid water in Antarctica, making it fascinating for scientists and onlookers alike. Bleeding tree. Since when did these trees start to bleed as well? A guy came across this tree lying on the ground, and it was oozing a blood-red liquid. Not being able to tell what was up with the tree, he posted the clip online and asked the internet for help. And someone revealed that this was a Socotra dragon tree. It bleeds this red liquid that's actually a kind of resin. It might look nauseating, but this sap is not poisonous. However, experts do suggest you don't ingest this. Fish falling. Fish falling from the sky. Looks like a fisherman's dream come true. The skies above were falling rain as well as fish. But there is an explanation for this fish fall. In bad weather, strong winds can carry water along with fish from the sea, and then they start falling out of the sky. Sandfall. A guy recorded this bizarre clip in a desert when he saw a whole lot of sand fall from a cliff, making it look like the waterfall, but with sand falling down. The desert seems to have made its own tourist spots, and I gotta say, it's quite creative. Glowing mushrooms. These little white umbrella-like mushrooms have a pretty nice secret. As soon as the surrounding gets dark, they start glowing. Imagine walking down the forest at night and seeing these glows ahead. Looks straight out of a fairy tale. Mystery clouds. A guy looked up at the sky and found these mysterious-looking bubble clouds. Someone else in Philadelphia also recorded similar clouds. They were something that had never been seen before, looking all eerie. When locals were scared to see these unusual clouds, authorities clarified, saying that they were a natural phenomenon, just a sign of upcoming bad weather. Bent trees. In northwestern Poland, there's a protected natural monument, a grove full of these crooked trees. It has 400 pines that were planted in around 1930. Locals believe that some kind of human tool or technique was used to make the trees grow or bend this way. But the method has never been identified and still remains a mystery to this day. Today, people visit the grove and try to guess how these trees might have been bent. Ice plate. Back in 2018, a drone camera recorded this incredible sight in Shenyang City in China. Apparently, a massive ice circle was found rotating in a frozen river. Locals and tourists stood on the plate, making it look like a dance stage. The ice plate might have separated from the rest of the frozen surface and started rotating on its own over the water. Split sky. People driving down a road in Florida witnessed this bizarre sight. The sunset sky seemed to be split in two. One side was bright orange, like the sun was just on the horizon, while the other side was dark, like the sun had already set. Many people thought they were witnessing a glitch in the Matrix, as they were seeing this split sky for the very first time. No experts came forward to say anything on the sky phenomena, leaving it a puzzling mystery. Open discussion. This picture going viral online showed an explosive scene underwater. However, the clip behind it was far more than that. This underwater blowup is actually the birth of a new island. Fueled by geological events, the remnants of this explosion gather over time and form a little peninsula at first. And then, as more and more gather together, an island is formed. The clip showed how these aggressive events lead to a greater outcome. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.